and welcome to my channel and welcome to any of you that are new. So today I just thought I'd answer the most Google questions about mice as I've not had really anything to film. So if you've noticed, it's been a bit off schedule last week. It was on a Friday instead of a Wednesday, and then it's gonna be today instead of a Sunday. So there are two videos coming out today. This is the first one, the second one's an update. So yeah. So before we start, Google's not always right, so you can use it for searching how to care for your mouse. Just don't use it for loads and loads of things about your mice. You're better taking advice from wherever you get it from. If you decide to get it from a pet shop, then you could try and find out on the internet. It won't be that bad, but it's better if you go to a good pet shop that isn't a Pets at Home, Pets for Homes, or anything like that. Or you could go to a rescue or breeder, which are very good options too. So let's start. I'll just type in, can mice eat cheese? So obviously this will be based on wild mice. Do not give your pet mouse cheese. If you want to know more about it, just search it, but do not give your pet mouse cheese. It's very unhealthy for it, and possibilities it will die. It's not anything you should use to a treat or anything, even if you just think, oh, I'll just give it. Nothing, just don't use it. So, research has shown that mice will eat pretty much anything that has minor nutritional value. So yes, mice will eat cheese. Given a choice though, mice seem to prefer sweeter treats such as fruits or grains. If a rodent is hungry enough, it may nibble on cheese, but the scent would not lure a mouse to the trap. So yeah, even wild mice don't like cheese that much. They will eat it. You can use it for traps if you do have mice in your house. But even wild mice prefer other things. Let's try, can mice eat grapes? So I'm not sure about this one, so we're just going to read about. So grapes, raisins, rhubarb and walnuts are all poisonous to mice, and lettuce can cause them to have diarrhea. Their diet occasionally supplementing with small amounts of suitable fresh fruit and vegetables as part of their daily allowance and not in addition. So mice can't eat this. Obviously, if you're watching this video, do not let your mouse have this even after you've watched this video, because that would just be a bit silly after you've watched this video and seen it's actually online, not me just telling you. So yeah, do not give your pet mice any of these. Can mice swim? So this is probably going to be based on wild mice, I'm not sure. But do not make your pet mouse swim. Mice are very sensitive creatures, and once they get cold, they might not be able to get warm again and die. So even if you think your mouse smells or something, or anything like that, do not give it a bath, do not make it swim. Don't think, oh, it might be good for TikTok, YouTube, whatever you think you might upload it on, people might like it. Don't do it. It's not worth stressing the animal out and probably nearly making it die. So let's read. I probably think it will be based on wild mice, but I'm not sure yet. Although not their preferred form of travel, mice do fairly well in the water, exhibiting great endurance and flexibility. Mice can swim in and tread water up to 3 days. When fully submerged, mice can also hold their breath up to 3 minutes. It seems there are no conditions the mouse can't handle. So there probably is, but yeah, I didn't know mice could hold the breath underwater for 3 minutes. But again, do not try this with your mice at home. Can mice live alone? So this definitely will be based on domestic mice. Just before we start, no, mice can't live alone. Especially females. Males, yeah, because males will fight a lot. You will get the occasional group that won't fight with males, but yeah, don't house a female by herself because it won't work out. They'll get lonely, stressed, and yeah. So you will need 2 or 3. Obviously I have 2 because one of them died and she was alone for about a week until we got her one, because obviously we couldn't go straight away that day. But yeah, do not house one. I have 2 and I will be getting more soon. So yeah, fancy mice can live alone, but it's not recommended for females. So this is probably going to say what I've just told you. Males, on the other hand, are best kept solitary and certainly don't require other mice to socialise with. Yep, true. In fact, male mice living on their own will often develop an incredibly strong bond with their owner. So yes, it will form a bond with you if you get one male. If you're looking for a cute mouse or one that's extremely bonded with you, it's best getting a male. Not 2 females. Obviously, I'm not saying all mice will, but 90% of the time, mice aren't going to be cuddly. If you want a specific cuddly, cute pet, you better go in and get in a guinea pig or a rabbit or something. Because don't go out with the intention of buying a cute, cuddly mouse and then being disappointed, because mice are active and they like exploring. Most mice won't just sit there and cuddle. Obviously most will, but yeah. So, whoops. Do mice make good pets? So obviously I think they do. Obviously all people might not like them, but yes, mice do make good pets in my opinion. If you don't, it's fine, I don't mind, but mice are good pets in my opinion if you don't find them disgusting little creatures that run around your house. Pet mice are actually really adorable and cute. You don't need to be scared of them or hate them. So mice can be fascinating pets for people who like to watch their natural behaviour, like building nests and rummaging around the food. Yes, I do that. I like watching them do that, so yeah, most people will like them. They usually sleep during the day and most active in the evening and at night, but you can adapt to a new routine. So I'm not sure about adapting to a new routine. You probably could, but I won't try it. But yeah, so I love watching my mice just go about. I might sit there in the evening, just watch them and then get them out after a bit if they feel like they want to and they're coming up against the bars. But yeah, I really like watching my mice do their thing, run through the tunnels, getting food, anything like that. So, do mice hibernate? So before we go into this, pet mice do not hibernate, and they shouldn't anyway, because your house or wherever you're keeping them, preferably in a house or something, not outside, definitely in a house actually. Wherever you're keeping them, it should be warm enough so they don't need to hibernate. Mice don't hibernate anyway, but this is based on wild mice, I think. Do house mice hibernate? So yeah, it's based on wild house mice or something. No, they find shelter in our buildings during the winter months where they have access to plenty of food and warmth. Yep, they will come in, they don't hibernate. I don't know why, mice just do not hibernate. I'm so distracted by the spider climbing down the wall. Do mice have bones? So just before I even read this, mice will have bones. If they didn't have bones, you'll just be a pile of slop walking along. Oh my gosh, the spider's coming. But yes, mice do have bones. I don't know why anyone would think they haven't. But yes, mice have bones. So if we read it, a myth says rats and mice don't have bones so they can get through tiny holes. But mice, they can squeeze through tiny holes anyway. They're very flexible and things. So yes, mice do have bones. Why would anyone think they don't? Because they'll just be a pile of nothing on the floor. So yeah. Rats and mice have internal skeletons like other mice, but they do have very flexible ribs, allowing them to squeeze through any gap into which they can fit their head. Myth. There is 1 mouse per person living in a city. I don't understand that, just ignore it. But yes, mice do have bones, and like it said, they're very flexible animals, and yeah. So the mice have bones in their tails. Just before we read this, I don't know, but they must have something in the tails, I think, to be able to hang. So wild mice and pet mice do hang and still climb, especially if you've got something there for them. But yes, mice need to use their tails, so I'm not entirely sure. So let's read. The tail of the mouse is composed of chondroid tissue, bone, tendon, muscle, and skin, with hair fossils. As well as nerves and blood vessels, the tail of a mouse or rat may be repulsive to some, but to the small rodent it provides balance and acts as an effective temperature regulator. Yes, that's true. So yes, I was wrong. It don't really matter. You don't need to know that when you're owning pet mice. Obviously, don't do anything to the tails if you don't think. Just leave them and don't pick them up by the tails. I might make a separate video on that, or in a different video, should you pick your mice up by the tail. I'm not going to search it now. Do pet mice bite? So yeah, just before we read this, your mice will bite if it feels cornered. If it's in the corner of the cage and you're coming towards it, or it's in an enclosed space where it feels like it can't get away, your mice will nip. They shouldn't really bite, but if they bite, they shouldn't draw blood. Sylvie's bit me a few times. She's not bit, but kind of just nipped in a curious way. She's not being aggressive or anything. I don't approach my mice if they're in the corner, if they're eating, say, and they're in the corner eating. I'll wait till they're eating, and then if they move along, I'll get them. I won't corner them because I know they don't like it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So let's just read. Mice usually bite when they feel scared or threatened. Yep, biting is a form of protection for your pet mouse. Whilst it can be frustrating to either nip or bites from your pet mouse, their bites often don't more than break the skin and cause very little pain. Yep, that's true. It doesn't hurt. It might draw blood if they really feel aggressive, they really feel endangered. They will bite, but yeah. Do pet mice. Oops. Mice like to burrow. So just before we start this, yes, mice like to burrow. You should add a deep layer in your cage for your mice to burrow. I add a deep layer in the corner, but my mice aren't really the burrowing type. They like burrowing into their hide at the bottom because my cage has 2 floors. So yeah. They like burrowing into the hide, not the kind of burrowing in the open. Mice that normally just pull it all towards their hide or scatter it around. I don't do this for them. I just put it in a big pile at one side or put it around for them. I don't spread it around because I thought it might like dig in, but I do it every time just in case because obviously a mouse won't do it the first time. So mice typically make a burrow underground. If they live out in the wild, their burrow helps protect them from predators. Mice are nocturnal, meaning they like to sleep during the day. This is why pet mice or house mice can be heard playing or foraging during the night. So yes, my mice do play and mess and forage in the night. So yeah, it don't really wake me up. I've got used to it. Even like if they're running in the wheel, it's not the quietest of wheels, but again, you can't really get a silent wheel. You normally get them for like a pets at home or something and they're too small. So I just have a normal sized wheel hanging from the top and it don't normally wake me up. It did the first time, but it's one of them noises you kind of get used to. Since I've nearly had Sylvie 2 years, I got her when she was 8 weeks old, I think. Might have been 6. I think the legal one is 6, so I probably got them at 7 or 8. Obviously because they might still need feeding by their mother, and obviously you can't take babies straight away from their mother. You still have to think about that. So that spider is really annoying me. It's just climbing on the floor and it's coming towards my desk where I'm sat. So yeah, if I am stuttering or not really paying attention, taking a long time, that's why. Because this spider is absolutely annoying me. Do mice like to be held. So just before we do this, yes, mice don't mind. Obviously not a wild mouse, because you just don't hold them. There could be something wrong with them. But yes, your mouse will like to be held. Obviously you will need help to tame it. But yeah, your mice will be held. You just don't leave it and barely hold it, or kind of make it untamed, because then you'll have a mouse that doesn't like you and will probably not like being on you and keep trying to escape. So yeah. So taming a mouse involves gaining its trust. Yes, it can be tricky to handle pet mice as they're small and quick, but once they're tamed, they can be picked up, handled, and can make great pets, even for kids. It's easiest to tame a mouse that's relaxed and comfortable in its surroundings. So yeah, it was quite tricky, especially Sylvie. She was very jumpy and yeah, she's very quick, but after a while she got to know me, she liked me. But then it didn't help that at that point, it was a few months after that Mrs. Brown passed away, and that didn't help her, but she was still tame. But when we got Fudge, it went a bit wrong. I have got another whole video explaining about that. I won't link it in the description, it's in another one, you just have to scroll through. But yeah, I have made a video about that, but yeah. So it's easy to tame, oops, I didn't mean to read that. Sorry for the siren outside. Need a wheel. So if you have not a really big cage, you can get your mouse a wheel, but you do have to check the measurements, obviously. I checked mine to make sure it's not too small, make sure it's alright for them. You don't want the back or tail to be arching because that will damage the spine. But if you've got a small cage, mice do need a wheel if you've not got tunnels or any more levels of it. Obviously, if you have something like an IKEA Detolf or IKEA Linmon or a DIY cage that's quite big, then yeah. But my mice have 2 floors and a tunnel that goes all the way around the back, but I still have a wheel for them just in case. I don't know why. I just have a wheel for them. But yeah, mice will need a wheel if it's in a small cage, but I just put mine in anyway. Just no reason really. But I put one in just so they could have something to run in if they didn't feel like actually running. So mice are little balls of energy, true, who love to run. Supplying your little mouse power with a wheel will give him, why is it referring to him? It could be a him or her, but the ability to run to his heart's content. Again, they don't need to do that. Refer to that, even in confused space of their cage. But yes, mice do need a wheel, especially if you've got a small-ish cage. Obviously, I'm not making you buy a wheel or telling you to. Obviously, if you can't get one, you don't know where to get one, or can't find one that's suitable, that's absolutely fine. So let's try. Why do mice roll around? So I've actually never seen my mice roll around. They might when I can't see them or when they're on the bottom, but I've never ever seen them roll around. So let's just read. The most common reason this is to happen to any animal is infection. Oh yes, so it's infection. And infection is most frequently found in the middle inner ear complex. Infection disrupts the signal, it goes back to the brain or where to place the body and the legs, and the result is what you are seeing. So yes, mice really roll around that. I didn't know that because I've never seen my mice do it. Obviously that means my mice are healthy. But yeah, why do mice have big ears? So I actually didn't know about this. My mice don't really have that big ears. It kind of suit their head. Sometimes I look at them and I think, oh, it's quite big, but I don't think so. So let's just read. Mice are different in this respect, as their ears tend to overwhelm their wee bodies. Although mice have bigger ears, proportionally speaking, rats' ears are often technically bigger than to larger overall size. So this is based on rats and mice, I guess, or about mice. But yes, your mice might have big ears. I would kind of find it cute if it looks too big for them. It'll be like when you get a dog, maybe, that's got big ears or big legs or something. But I find it quite cute if my mice had big ears. If they look too big, I think it would be cute. Why do mice shake? So just before we start this, if they feel threatened or anything like that, they will shake. They might have an infection or they might shake as a sign of aggression. But yeah, battle time. When a mouse shakes his tail in the front of another specimen, I understand now it's using his because females aren't that aggressive. You won't get really an aggressive female. It might be 95% aren't and that 5% are. But yes, males will be, and you'll just need to tame and get a stronger board. So it usually means they're not getting along too well. Mice tend to vibrate their tails as means of notifying each other that they're about to partake in a battle. So yeah, this is mostly based on males. I don't know any females that do this, even if I've done them in a big group, but yeah. So, why do mice come into your house? So this is based on wild mice, but yeah. When mice come invade your home or business, it does not mean you've done anything wrong. They are scavengers and they find food and shelter wherever they can. If your place looks appealing, they will be excited about a visit. Mice are explorers and they are always on the lookout for shelter, water and food. So yes, mice will come in. It don't mean you've done anything wrong. Please do not set traps that kill them, because they could go wrong. You might find a mouse with a broken leg that couldn't walk, and then obviously you couldn't set it in the wild and you would have to kill it anyway. But yeah, so rather just use live traps where you walk over it and it shuts on you. I used to use them in an old house and they worked really well, and you have to take your mice 2 miles at least or more, because they'll just come straight back. Because if you live near woodland and you just maybe put them at the front of it, they're going to find a way back or they'll come next door or something, and you don't want that happening. So yeah, oops. And I don't use voice search normally. So I think that's enough today. It is been 22 minutes now of talking. Please subscribe and like for more from me. Bye!